Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Art of Porsche. Well, we haven't done anything on this channel for a long time, but I have been driving like crazy. I have been driving racing cars, and I hope you have too. I hope you've been enjoying your racing simulator, whichever one it was. I think the last videos I did here was Project Cars 2, and I was doing a series with it. Had a great time. I love that game. However, I am moving on. Now, apparently, Project Cars 2 can be brought right up to date into 2026, but you need to add quite a few mods and add-ons and DLCs to really bring it up to today's standards. And I'm not a mod kind of person, and thank you to those out there who made the suggestion and made kind comments in regards to those videos. Appreciate it. And but I'm not a modding kind of person. I'm not good at it. I'm not a computer, geek, or I'm just not good at that kind of stuff, guys, doing add-ons and DLCs. I do updates if it shows up on Steam, and automatic updates. I do that kind of thing. But I pretty much drive my racing games straight out of the box as they come, without buying all the extra stuff, without doing all the DLCs, without doing all the modding. As it comes out of the box, I pay good money for it. I expect it to be good. I expect everything to work and look good as it should. And I'll buy it if the main thing is it's got to have all the tracks that I like, and it's got to have the cars that I enjoy driving, and of course it's got to run smooth, icy smooth on my machine. If it ticks all those boxes, then I'm happy as a sand dog. But anyway, what I thought we'd do today is just have a look at the graphics, how the car looks from inside when you're driving on all the different racing simulators. I haven't got all of them, of course, but I can show you. I've taken recordings of me driving inside the car. The simulators that I've got that I can show you is Assetto Corsa Competizione. I got Rennsport. I can show you what inside the car, the cockpit looks like. Project Cars 2, Le Mans Ultimate, Assetto Corsa Evo, Project Motor Racing. So I have got a few to show you, but not all of them. And I'll tell you which one I like the most, and I'll point out why, which one I like. In regards to sitting in the cockpit, the feeling of speed, the feeling of immersion, the graphics of the cockpit, it's got to look right. The colors have got to look right. It's got to be sharp and clear. The view out the window, the scenery out the window needs to be just right. It needs to be sharp, and it's got to be smooth. No glitches, no stutters. So the graphics have got to be really sharp. The colors have got to be right, not too bright and cartoony. The colors have got to be subtle, and they've got to be close to as realistic as you can get on a computer game, as far as brightness and shades and shadows, and just the general feeling of immersion as you're sitting in the cockpit of these Porsches. I know the arcade players, they like to play from outside the car, but I'm more of a simulator driver sort of person. I like to try and keep it real if I can, so I like to sit inside the cockpit. So it's very important that the cockpit actually looks nice. It's all rendered beautifully. It looks realistic, and the scenery looks good and smooth. So we're going to have a look at those different games and see how they look from inside the cockpit. Don't worry about my driving, guys. I haven't practiced the tracks. I've just got in and driven it and recorded it, just so you can see the graphics inside the cockpit. So don't worry about the fancy driving that is non-existent. It's just to show you a demonstration of how the different sims look from inside the cockpit. Okay, so let's get started. The first one we're going to have a look at is Project Cars 2. So let's have a look. Right, so here is Project Cars 2. You can see the cockpit looks very, very sharp. I've got all the graphics pretty much turned up to ultra because it's an older game. I can do that. Outside, the graphics look sharp and clean and crisp, and of course it runs as smooth as ice because it's an older game. It's just it's just a shame it does feel a bit outdated. Remember, I play my driving games straight out of the box, so this is the original Project Cars 2. It hasn't been modded or updated or anything. It looks fantastic, guys, smooth as ice, and it is still a great game. But unfortunately, it needs all those mods and bits and pieces all done to it and tuned up to bring it into 2026. But just the graphics and sitting on in the cockpit here just looks very, very good. It's easy to drive, easy on the eyes. Everything is sharp, clear, and smooth. One of the good ones, guys. It just looks beautiful. Right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, here we go in Assetto Corsa Evo. Again, the cockpit, the dash area looks very, very nice, very beautiful. The outdoors, the view out the window, we are at Sebring, and in my opinion, they've just overcooked it. It is absolutely beautiful. There is so much detail in there. The place just is a living, breathing autosport track. It's just amazing. The big flags flying and everything, but it slows down the computer. There is too much in there. My computer glitches. I cannot get a smooth lap in. Don't worry about my terrible driving. It does not run smooth. I cannot get it to run smooth without any stuttering or glitches. So it is yet to be optimized properly. But the colors as well, I'm not sure. I just think they look quite bright, maybe a bit washed out. But as far as the detail and the graphics, I cannot complain about anything, guys. They are just spot on. They are beautiful. The car, the sounds, the handling, but it does not run smooth on my machine, and I just think there's just too much happening on the track. There is just too much stuff they've packed in there, and it's not optimized enough to run on the average human computer, unfortunately. My computer's a few years old. It runs most things, including Flight Simulator, very, very smoothly. So it's not a bad computer. But Evo, no, it just doesn't work well. There's not as icy smooth driving experience, and really that's the most important thing of all, is a nice smooth driving experience. You can have beautiful graphics, beautiful cars and everything, but if it doesn't run beautifully icy smooth on your computer, it's not really worth a hill of beans, guys. But yes, very nice looking cockpit to sit inside. Unfortunately, cannot run it well on my machine. So that's Assetto Corsa Evo. Let's move on, have a look at the next one. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is Project Motor Racing. Here it is. I did not get a good view from actually inside the cockpit with the steering wheel and everything, but we can see the car, we can see the graphics, we can see the lighting and the shading. There's a little bit of a view inside the cockpit. Now this is all straight out of the box, guys. I haven't added on, I haven't gone in and spent hours in adjusting all the colors and everything. Everything you see today is the game's pretty much straight out of the box. Okay, so let's have a look. The cockpit looks very, very nice. It looks lovely. Always looks better when you turn the wheel off and just have it in a fixed position. Otherwise it's very, very distracting, and it's sort of jerking around all over the place. It's far from smooth. But when the steering wheel is just fixed, if you turn that option off, it looks a heck of a lot better. Now to me, the colors in this, the game itself is a beautiful game. I loved the game when it first came out. Unfortunately, it keeps crashing on my computer, so I can't consistently run it. Can't do any full-on championships or career mode now. It just keeps crashing to desktop. But I can't complain about the graphics, the detail. Everything looks spot on. It looks beautiful, and I think it will be eventually a very good simulator. The colouring I don't like. It looks a bit washed out and weak looking. It looks too bright, and a bit cartoony, the colours in my book. This is my opinion. It just looks too washed out and too bright. I know on a very, very sunny day all the scenery can look very, very bright on your eyes, but it's not good when a simulator, when you're actually driving on a computer screen. It just doesn't look natural to me. It just looks way too sort of overexposed or something. But the cars are beautiful. The cockpit does look nice. Again, unfortunately, it doesn't run on my machine. If it did, I would probably spend more time on it, and maybe more time spent trying to get it looking better. But in my book, a game should look good out of the box. You know, when you buy a game, you've got to make sure, of course, when you buy it, if you can, it's got all the tracks you like and all the cars you like. But in regards to the graphics, the colors and the smoothness, it should run pretty well spot on out of the box without you having to spend hours and hours adjusting it or trying to fix it or trying to get the steering wheel right. You shouldn't have to do that, guys, and you shouldn't have to bring in mods and extra add-ons to get it looking good and working right. So for me, Project Motor Racing, well, just doesn't cut the mustard for me, I'm afraid. Let me know what you think in the comments. If it's working brilliantly for you and you're loving it, that's fantastic. Awesome. Right, let's move on to the next one. But just look at the colors. It's just a bit washed out and too bright, and even the clarity of the graphics and the rumble strip on the side, it looks it's not, I just can't run it on high enough detail and resolution to make those look really smooth and sharp, unfortunately. So maybe it's not optimized as well as it could be. I don't know. Right, on to the next one. Right, here we are, guys, in Le Mans Ultimate. Le Mans Ultimate in the Porsche. They're all Porsches that I'm demonstrating here today, GT3s. Whoa, don't worry about my scratchy driving, okay? I just jumped in and pushed record and drive around the track where it's Sebring, the beautiful Sebring. Gosh, I love this circuit. But anyway, look, the cockpit is a bit darker than some of the others, but it is beautifully rendered. The detail, it is smooth, high resolution. If you look at the roll bars on the left, they just look perfectly round and shiny and beautiful. Again, I've turned the wheel off so it's not flying around all over the place and very distracting. But the cockpit does look nice. Now, I've got 3 mirrors on, which I don't really like. I've got the backing camera, reverse camera going. I've got the rear vision mirror in the middle and the virtual mirror at the top. I've tried to turn these off, but they all seem to go off if I turn one of them off. So I'm going to have to play around with that. I don't like that. And of course, we're draining a lot on the frame rate as well, the more rear vision mirrors you have. Okay, let's get down to business. The colors in the cockpit are nice. I think a little bit subdued. That's fine. I don't want anything really bright inside the cockpit. The colors outside, I think, are a lot more subdued than Project Motor Racing. Not so harsh, not so bright and cartoony. It is quite sort of soft, and I think it looks a heck of a lot more natural, actually. It's probably a different time of the day. Project Motor Racing, that one was probably in the middle of the day when the sun was very bright. This is a little bit maybe later in the afternoon, so it looks a little bit more subdued. But just look at the sharpness of the graphics, the sharpness of the lines and the rumble strip. It is just a lot more sharp, a lot clearer, and it just seems like the textures are just a lot more sharp. The color is a lot better. I like it more subdued. It looks a lot more natural. It's easier on the eyes, easier to look at while you're driving. If you're doing a long race, it's not so stressful on your eyes to have that harsh brightness. You need your resolution to be as smooth and as high as possible, really, to be easier on your eyes when you're driving on a computer game. But this I like very, very much. Very much like this one, Le Mans Ultimate. The colors, The graphics outside are smooth and sharp, and the driving is very, very smooth. The frame rate is excellent. I've never had a glitch or a stutter while driving around in Le Mans Ultimate. Maybe one or two, but I can't remember when it was. So it's probably not perfect, but I have never seen a major or a problem in the frame rate. It's always been as smooth as ice, and I just love these colors and the way it looks and the way it drives. The steering is beautiful. I have not had to spend hours on each car tuning the steering wheel, getting it to feel right. I haven't had to add on any mods or any DLCs or anything to try and, get everything to work. It was pretty much a plug in and play for me, and that's what I like about it. I'm not a computer person. I do not want to be tootling around with steering wheels and setups just to get it to the point where I can drive it and it feels comfortable and realistic and immersive. I just get in it and drive it, and this one is very, very good, guys. I just get in and drive without any mucking around, and it just drives beautiful. Right, the last one we're going to have a look at, guys, is Assetto Corsa Competizione. It is an older game, but it has had an update. I've done the automatic update, so it is updated. It's even updated to 2026. Some new liveries, some new cars. All my favorite cars are in here. And the good thing about Competizione, and it's an Assetto Corsa thing actually, is that you can color your own cars. If you have your own team, like me, I always like to have my KVM racing team, because that's the name of my company, KVM, and I've colored this Porsche with silver, which is the same color as my Porsche that I own, and it's also got the blue and the green there, like my Porsche shirt here. It's got my company colors. I've been able to change the livery to my company colors, and that is just an incredible plus for any racing car game, guys. And you can color all the overalls and helmets for the drivers. I don't know why the other developers have not cottoned on to this. The fact that you can create your own liveries and own colors is such a plus. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and the Formula One racing team, from F124, F125, they do that. They have a part of the game called My Team, and you can create your own team and colors and logos and everything. And some of these other, the GT3, some of these other racing simulators developers just have not woken up yet to the fact that we love to create our own team. We love to create our own liveries and team colors, and that's what you can do in Assetto Corsa Competizione. Okay, let's have a look at the cockpit and see how the graphics look when we're driving inside the cockpit, shall we? Look at this. This is beautiful. Look how sharp and smooth and clean the graphics are inside the cockpit. Uncluttered, that's what I call it. I like the cockpits uncluttered, without all the extra HUDs, without the map of the track. Or I have got the map of the track up the top there, actually. I need to turn that off. But I like it uncluttered. All the information you need is on the dash, guys. You do not need all the extra HUDs popping up on your screen. Look how fast and smooth this is. It is as smooth as ice. It's an older game, and it feels fantastic to drive. Icy smooth. Look at the graphics outside, the colors, the shadowing, the time of day. It just looks fantastic. It's not so harsh and bright and cartoony. The colors just look real, and the graphics look believable, guys. It looks very, 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 very nice. Whoa, my dodgy driving, don't worry about it, guys. It is just so clean and sharp and smooth as ice. And the good thing about Assetto Corsa Competizione is they specialize in GT3 racing. That's it. They've got all the licensing, all the it is the official GT racing game. So they've got all the licensing, all the sponsors, the names of the tracks. Does that add to the immersion? You betcha. You've got to have all the track names and the team names and the drivers' names and the sponsors. If you've got all that stuff, guys, it adds so much to the immersion. And like I said, they have updated it a lot, so it is very, very relevant and still a very, very good game in 2026. But just look at this. The graphics are just stunning in the game, inside and outside. The replays are fantastic. Okay, so in order of picks in my book, number 1 would be Assetto Corsa Competizione. For the best immersion inside the cockpit would be Assetto Corsa. The second one would be Le Mans Ultimate, a very close number 2, Le Mans Ultimate. Third would probably be Assetto Corsa Evo, if I could get it running right, but it doesn't run right on my machine. And after that, I would probably say Project Motor Racing, as far as immersion and the game goes. I think Project Cars 2, if it was updated and brought into 2026 with all the extra mods and add-ons, maybe that would be on a par with Project Motor Racing. I don't know, because I'm not into that. But in my books, as far as the smoothness, the immersion of being in the cockpit, the graphics, the cockpit graphics, the scenery, the colors as you're driving, the smoothness of the game, Competizione is probably number 1 in my book, followed by Le Mans Ultimate. So I think that's where I'm going to be spending my time, guys. I'm going to be making some more content, some more championships, some more career mode style series. And I think I'll be flicking between the two, Le Mans Ultimate and Competizione. Let me know in the comments what your favorite simulator is, what you like about it, what you enjoy about it. Is it working really, really well on your machine? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Over and out. Cheers. Oh, I love the feeling of speed. It looks awesome. Right, I need to do some hot laps. See you on the next video.